Time to go. So, in 3, 2, 1. Hello and good evening, and welcome to what was meant to be Cycling Hub's preview of Tour Down Under. Kind of still is. I'm obviously David Thunder, and you are sitting watching myself and the mighty Jesper Anker. Jesper, hello.
Hello. Thank you for saving my butt, David. This is still the Cycling Hub preview, though. I see you and me as a unit. I was still watching them when you were doing them on your own. They were that good.
Best out there. Let's not get started on some of the boring podcasts that are out there.
Come on, man. They're not all that bad, but on the Tour Down Under, though, you're pretty spoiled because all the best outlets, all the best podcasts are on the Tour Down Under. So if you were to watch another preview that weren't the mighty David and Jesper, Down Under is probably the best choice because you have koalas and snakes and whatever there are down under.
Nah, people want to hear intelligent talk about cycling, not animals.
Yeah. Did you say intelligent? I mean,
Intelligent. Right, come on, let's get to it. Let's get serious. So,
okay.
We have People Choice Classic, which starts tomorrow morning. European time, which is our criterium, was round the streets of Adelaide, where Caleb Ewan wins for fourth time, can't remember now, against mighty sprinters like Sagan and Viviani and Greipel and some young guys like Halvorsen at Sky, who will be interesting to watch. And then we get to the real deal, which is it's Tuesday in Australia, Monday night, kind of Tuesday morning for us Europeans. We start with the normal stage in Lindok, where Ewan won last year, I'm sure. Second stage is Stirling, which they've been to every single year apart from one, which is that horrible uphill finish where we've seen the likes of Gerrans and McCarthy win before. Very, very difficult. However, this year I think they do one less lap than previous, so there is a chance some of the sprinters could hold on. Stage 3, we're back in Victor Harbour, another very popular finish for the race. Sprint finish, big bunch kick, Ewan versus Greipel versus Viviani and so on. Stage 4, new finish alert, which is, we have Norton Summit, which they climbed last year, which is probably say it's an iconic climb in Adelaide. It's where the pros go to do kind of their tests. It's kind of 5k, 5%. It's not the hardest climb in the world, but then after it we have a kind of kick up for about a kilometre at 8%, and then it ends with about 8k of undulating roads. Most likely a small bunch sprint there, a kind of elite group, maybe 5 to 10 riders getting away. Next stage is Wollonga, where Richie Porte has won 4 times on the bounce, looking to make it number 5. And then we end with another criterium around the streets of Adelaide. So, Jesper, what are we thinking about the race?
First of all, I saw a comment made by Felix Lowe. Remember we had him on the broadcast way back in the day. He asked the question, does Australia not have any other roads, or do they just purposely choose the same 6 stages every year?
I think that's harsh. Like, Adelaide's not a huge place, and they're utilising, like, the Stirling finish is brilliant. I love the Stirling finish. Yeah, I think that's quite harsh. They're not blessed with like lots of different climbs and stuff, so, and they're using routes that attract a lot of fans and a lot of lap circuits, which is good for the fans, obviously. So, and who doesn't love Wollonga Hill? Like, it's a fantastic stage and harsh, I would say.
And to be fair, when you use the same course, similar course again and again and again, you kind of create this history around it, and it becomes more fun to watch because you know what to expect. It's kind of like football is always the same, it's just different teams. Cycling has this thing where it's a different course every time, and it's difficult to actually get an understanding of the race. It's quite fun to watch, and I highly recommend going out watching Francis Cage, Shane Miller, and whoever's cycling maven, all the guys that are down under and actually covering the Tour Down Under, because like the Aussie atmosphere, it's insane, right, David? Like, there's no other race like this, the Tour Down Under.
Wollonga Hill is a special day. The fans pack onto it, and the other thing that goes well for the Tour Down Under is the riders love it because there's no transfers. They are there for a week. Some of the riders arrived as early as the 1st of January to get acclimatised, so they can come down, they can experience some really good weather conditions, although it's been raining the last couple of days. The zero transfers is really important for the riders, especially at this time of the season. They don't want to be sitting on the team bus for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours every day. They just want to be nice little kind of ride to the start and then off we go. So yeah, the riders love it, which is why they come back every single year.
Only thing is that the time of day it's on is a pain. Like, we were supposed, West Salzburger was actually lined up for this broadcast, but due to like the fact that it's so late in the day or so early in the morning, it's tough to watch. I know you, David, will stay up to watch this, but like the mental clock, the inside clock of a cyclist, doesn't that affect them? If you're used to racing every day at 2 o'clock, but you're technically racing at 2 in the morning, I mean, like physically, doesn't that affect you?
Which is why some of them arrived on the 1st of January. So like Michael Valgren, he was there on New Year's Day, so he can get acclimatised. The rest of the team arrived a week later. So some, I think Viviani was there early as well. So some of the cyclists who are European are there early. The other ones who arrive a week, acclimatisation is perfect to get the body clock in order. The travelling will knock them out for a couple of days, which is one of the main reasons why Aussies rule in the Tour Down Under. I think it's 12 stages consecutively that Australians have won. 6 out of the last 7 years or something they've won the GC. I mean, this is a race for the home riders, and we'll probably see another Aussie victory this season.
What's your 3 secrets to staying up late at night and watching it? Because I know we have about 70 people watching this live right now, and they're all wondering, should I stay up late, and how do I stay up late to watch it?
Well, the good thing is, in Britain in particular, where we've not had coverage over the last few years, you've had to rely on a good VPN and the Aussie streaming service. So this year it is live, but I think they're not showing 2 stages. So the big tip for all those people like myself who have to work as well is you go to bed, you set your alarm, you get up, you watch 2-3 hours of the cycling, you go back to bed and you sleep for a couple of hours and then you go to work, and basically you're a zombie for a week. But hey, we love cycling, we've been without it for months. This is what we want, and my heart goes out to the poor Australians who actually have to do this for the full cycling season.
That's the one race of the year where they have like a normal, like they're like, yes, it's our way. Imagine a Tour de France for them. It's in the middle of the winter. You have to be a bit late. Oh, that's going to be groggy. The teams here at the Tour Down Under, David. We have the usual suspects, and now Michelin Scott, used to be called Orica. You have BMC, you've got Dimension Data, and the rest of the lot. Looking at the teams, David, who is looking to put on a dominant show here?
BMC of strength. Those that watch the Aussie road race will have seen, the Scottson, the Dennis, the Gerrans, and the Port. That's a really strong quartet. They've got Dennis and Gerrans who have won Tour Down Under previously. They've got Scottson, who was the Australian road race champion. They've got Gerrans, who clearly is just amazing. And they've got, although 37 years old, he's moving into a new role. And then they have Richie Port. But the question marks are about Port just now, because he is, I think it looks like their big captain for the race, crashed horribly in the Tour de France, as we all know. Came back, finished third in the time trial. Tried attacking in the road race, didn't really manage to get a gap on Mount Buninyong, which indicates to me he's not in 100% form. Clearly, he can't be at this stage of his season, especially after his big crash. But he will still probably win Wollonga, I would imagine, for the 5th time. But I'm not so sure he goes and wins GC. Dennis, for me, looked a bit disappointing in the road race. He was brilliant in the time trial, but the road race he really wasn't to the fore. Gerrans and Scottson did a huge amount of work in the road race, and both looked strong. But Gerrans' time as a winner of this race is gone. He is now in a new role. Other teams, well, the other big contenders, I suppose, are Haas. Nathan Haas, who's now at Katusha, riding for a new squad. He was looking to do something special. He was very unfortunate last year. I think he was 4th. Jay McCarthy nipped some bonus seconds on the final stage to push him out. Jay McCarthy, 4th in 2016, 3rd in 2017. Big things are expected. He's now 25, not just in the Tour Down Under, but I would expect Jay McCarthy to have a huge season. He is a phenomenal cyclist. He has everything you need to be successful in this race. He can sprint, he can climb, and he has an explosive kick. Bonus seconds are vital here, absolutely vital. We've got 10, 6 and 4 at the end of the stages. We've got 3, 2 and 1 at the intermediate sprints. There's 2 of them. You have to pick up bonus seconds to win this race. And for me, it's a slightly easier edition compared to the last couple of years, which have kind of been brilliant for Richie Porte, where he's blasted big kind of time gaps, and particularly the Paracombe stage. I don't see him doing it this year. He's not going to blast a big time gap in stage 4 because it's a downhill run to the line. It opens it up for Haas and McCarthy and maybe some others. I mean, it does favour the Australians, but the Colombians they also go home for the winter. Their summer, they have great training conditions. They come over. Sergio Henao has done very well here in the past. There is a youngster who just turned 21 today called Egan Bernal who potentially could do something special for Team Sky.
He's the next Quintana, they say.
I mean, right, let's cut to the chase. The guy is riding, the boy is riding professional cycling, pro peloton at 19 years of age.
He's younger than me, guys. Put that in context.
If you're riding in the pro peloton at 19, you are a special talent. Last season, when he's 20, he does very well in lots of races. He wins the Tour de l'Avenir relatively easily after winning 2 stages. He finished 13th in Lombardia. I mean, Lombardia is what, 260k? You're up against the best cyclists in the world, and the kid who rides for Androni rolls over the line, top 13. The guy's insane. You don't ride at this level at that age unless you are an exceptional talent, and he clearly is. Now, he's been home, he's been training in the sunshine, he comes here, debut for Sky, he'll be looking for top 5, I would think. What
about, as a certain good friend of the show calls him, the Jedi? Peter Sagan is here. You mentioned McCarthy. Some people will be looking at Sagan and saying he's got the same skill set.
Listen, if anybody talks about Sagan for GC, they are an idiot. 100% idiot. He is here to get some good weather, to get some training in. He might turn the wheels over and go for the odd sprint. Sagan's not here for GC. I mean, last year he led out Bennett for most of the sprint stages. Bennett's back, but the word was he had a bit of a head cold recently, so Sagan may end up sprinting, but no, not for GC.
I'm fairly certain Sagan gets a hefty paycheck to come here to the race, because something feels kind of odd about this whole scenario. But
well, you would imagine so. I mean, listen, if the Giro can pay $2 million for Froome before, obviously, the whole inhaler situation.
So, yeah, no, let's cut to that, because I think everyone's been waiting for the David inside scoop on the Froome case. If you are Richie Porte and if you are Quintana, are you now throwing everything out the window and saying, I'm going to the Tour because Froome is maybe going to get suspension?
We just don't know. I mean, at least he got 9 months, and at least he had less salbutamol in his system. The case is still to be played out. We've still to hear if the authorities think he's innocent or he's guilty. We can't really comment too much just now. But, the riders will be looking towards the Tour de France and thinking, yeah, this could be our chance.
What's your take on the case?
I think it's very hard to explain the levels he had in his system. And I think a number of asthmatic pro athletes have said the same. To have that level is difficult, and we'll have to wait and see what his defence is. But reading some of the articles just now, they're claiming that he'd had a number of puffs on his inhaler pre-interview, so he wouldn't be coughing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I mean, that's... We'll see if they buy it. We'll see if they believe him. But they believe that Daryl Impey's pharmacist handled some drugs, and that's how he had a positive test. So we'll just have to wait and see.
But no matter what, I think what we can take away from this is that the peloton actually spoke out loud in unison against Froome and his actions. So whether or not he's guilty or whatever, it's really interesting to see this armada of nobody says anything is kind of falling apart slowly to the outside. And big riders what was it, Tony Martin, who literally wrote a hate blog on Facebook the week after. So it's interesting to see how social media is helping the peloton actually voice their concerns versus the Armstrong era, which where some of the same stuff was going on, but you had what? Messenger to go on? I mean, what did you have back in your days, David?
Oh, you had to write a letter. I strongly word the letter. But, I like the fact Tim Wellens has spoken out. Tim Wellens, for me, has a lot of credibility. This is a guy who raced around France with heat allergies, refusing to take a TUE, and then he had to abandon the race. Now, riders hate abandoning races, particularly the Tour de France, and this is a guy who he could have got the TUE, he could have taken his medicine, and he would have been fine, and he refused it, and now he's coming out and he's saying, look, should we have inhalers at all permitted? Because, let's be honest, it has been abused, and it's a grey area. The whole TUE system is just open to abuse, and for me, they've just got to get rid of it all. Either you're healthy to race, or you're not.
That was your daily digestion of David Hunter's inside scoop, inside knowledge on the Froome case, whatever. I'm pretty certain everyone out there, this is what they've been dying to ask you, David, on camera ever since it's come out, because a lot of people actually really appreciate your honest and very brutal opinion on cycling. We did have, we used to have the stars, everyone. We've changed it up this year, so we just picked 3 riders each. David had 3. We pretty much gone through them already. Wes had 3. I think it's only Ben O'Connor and Canty we haven't mentioned, and I had 3. David, do you want to quickly talk about Ben O'Connor and Canty, as Wes is no longer here?
Yep. Canty with Cannondale are now EF Drapac. I just can't get used to calling them not Cannondale.
Horrible kit, by the way. The kit is horrendous.
Really? Do you not like it?
I've seen it in real life. Who put that together?
I don't mind it. I think the pink one's okay. I do. I've seen a few pictures. They've got 2, one's for training, one's for racing. There's the other one like an orangey sort of, and the other one's a pink one. So I don't mind the pink. Canty, listen, you pick Australian riders for this race. That goes without saying. If you're looking for the Europeans to really kind of dominate, you just have some pizza there, Jesper, you're okay. If you're looking for the Europeans to dominate, then it's not going to happen. So you've got Canty, who looks strong in the road race. You've got Ben O'Connor, exceptional young talent, did his probation year with Dimension Data, took some good results there, particularly in the Tour of Austria. He is an explosive climber, and I think this route looks really good for him. And he is enough of a lesser name that potentially he could escape on stage 4 and find himself all of a sudden really high up on GC. I'm excited to see what he can do this season, not just in this race, but overall. There's a number of young Australians who should do really well in this race. O'Connor's one, Chris Hamilton's the other, riding for Team Sunweb. I know Sam Ooman's here. It would be great to see the Hurricane let loose on this race. He had a strong road race in the Aussie Nationals. But yeah, so those. I mean, if you're Australian and you're a good climber, you're going to do well in this race over most of the Europeans. So Canty and O'Connor, they've got to be high up overall. Top 10, I would imagine.
I've actually been to Canty's summer house up near Mount Pleasant. It's a nice place. Right next to a great cafe.
Name dropping there, Jesper, am I not?
Thanks to Shane Miller, guys, by the way. Shane Miller took us on a tour around, showing us the kangaroos, the local houses. Man, when you get out on the road, the things you see. Speaking of the road race, David, I want to mention Troy Herfoss. Because that man can ride a bike. And I've known Troy for now 9 months, 10 months since working for Swift. Because he competed in this massive Australian race. So I knew he was good. But holy shit, did I not know he was this good, David. Like, what? You know the story behind Troy?
He's a Australian superbike champion. I see him every year at the road race. This year he was exceptional. Like, weirdly, I was sitting watching it at kind of 3 in the morning, and I was talking to Michael Valgren, who was over watching it on his couch in Australia, and we were talking about Herfoss, and like, the guy is just, for a guy who rides his bike for fun, whose job is motorbikes, it's insane. And for me, the only sad thing is he's not riding the Tour Down Under. I mean, I know like the boy Harper who finished second, he can't ride it either because They've now said you've got to be in the testing pool for the UCI, and there was an administrative error which meant that Harper wasn't in it. Herfoss wouldn't be in it because, as I said, he just ride his bike for fun.
Yeah.
But what a ride! And what the other one was the man who was 43. Was it Peter Milowski or Milosevic? Who
I'm not so sure.
He was there the whole time at the front, and he finished the race last, I think, or second last. But he was caught with maybe about 2 laps to go, and he didn't step off the bike. He just kept on going right to the bitter end, which was, I thought, the two of them were the standout performances in the road race. Which,
to be fair, Troy is such a nice guy in real life. Like, he may race, or he might only ride his bike for 2 months a year, but wow, he just does nothing but ride his bike, David. Like, he cuts out anything bad, and he becomes a professional for 2 months. I'm pretty sure he said if a team would give him a deal, he would actually become a professional right here on the spot.
Well, he seems to have won a lot superbiking, so maybe if there was more kind of top teams in Australia, are kind of Bennelong going to offer him a professional deal, which is financially
that even wouldn't be enough, because you have to think he's in the top tier superbike. He won not this year, but the year before and the year before that. He's not going to give that up for Steele Van Hoff's team.
But his ride was awesome. Like, top of Mount Buninyong every lap, he attacked. Once he crested, once he felt the speed was going down, off he went, which was just, he was sensational, and a shame he's not going to be here. But we've got plenty of other riders
such as Diego Alisi's on there, who is one of my riders which I was told to check up on. Last 3 times he's competed, he's been 5th, 11th, and 3rd in GC. But more importantly, on Wollonga Hill, David, he's been 4th, and 2nd. And you know how you said how McCarthy can get bonus seconds? So can Alisi. Alisi can hang on Wollonga Hill as well. And he's got Rui Costa this year as a teammate. Albeit, Rui Costa is such a weird rider. He doesn't really do well on his own, and he doesn't really do much as a team member, at least from my perspective. So we'll see how Alisi goes. I don't think Costa's going to be that much of a help, but I would say Alisi's probably like 2nd or 3rd favourite to win this year. What do you reckon?
I think he'll be kind of shooting around top 5. 1, he's not Australian. 2, he's European. He's like, to be top 3 for a European rider to do it, they have to be fairly special at this time of year. And Alisi has some big goals later down the line. So yeah, it was no surprise last year he wasn't quite as good, and he was focusing on the Tour de France. So he's that kind of slower build up, but he'll be up there. He can win Stirling. He can hang on in Wollonga. He'll certainly be able to challenge on stage 4. So he'll be doing okay. From the chat, some of us want to talk about Bahrain, who arrived with. They've got Positivo. They've got both Izagiri brothers. So they've
shoulders.
The little man. Go on then. You do your bit for Domenico.
No. I just wanted everyone to show that he was actually on David's men's to watch that was distributed between the young peasants. No, Pozzovivo, new team, new year. He's got Gorka, he's got Ian. But I don't like. You want to talk about Pozzovivo. For some reason, he always does okay here, but he never really succeeds. Maybe that's because he's Italian, as you said. But it's just funny to see the small man slowly chase off the front group. You can always see Pozzovivo. He's always there. He's always consistent. But I just don't see how Pozzovivo wins this, David, because he would have to win on Wollonga by like 10 years.
Yeah, he can't sprint, so he's not going to pick up bonus seconds, I wouldn't imagine. So, but the fact that they have 3 really strong riders goes in their favour. I remember a while back Gorka Izagiri going quite far with Port on the Paracombe stage before he faded away, but he was the only man who could kind of match him for even a short period of time. Pozzovivo, he comes here, he rides, he goes top 10. That I think would happen again. I think he will be the captain. I think the Izagiris will be looking just to support him and help him kind of top 10.
David, I think we should get to the predictions. I think everyone that stayed up, you got to think right now in Europe, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties. David, before you can get to your predictions, we'll keep the main event for the end. I've written down 3 lines here, 3 predictions. Caleb Ewan is going to win 3 stages in this Tour Down Under. Peter Sagan is going to win 2. And Port is going to win the overall by 50 plus seconds.
50 plus seconds.
Yes.
So he's going to attack on Willunga. Somebody will come out and throw tacks. Everybody will get punctures.
So what's going to happen is he's going to attack around instead of Rohan Dennis, because they have this like stupid theory. They're going to be like, oh, we're going to ride for Rohan Dennis, but what they're actually doing is they're riding for Port and letting Port go in the bottom, and everyone else is going to watch.
Okay, do you want my prediction?
Yes, please.
So, stage 1, Ewan. Stage 2, Haas. Stage 3, Ewan. Stage 4. Stage 4 is the one, I think, which is the kind of pivotal day for GC. You know, who's going to get away? Because somebody will get away. It's going to be too difficult to hold that together for a kind of bunch sprint between maybe 20 to 30 riders. Somebody will escape. Somebody will pick up maybe. It won't be a big gap, but maybe kind of 5 to 10 seconds plus the bonus time. Whoever that rider is, that's the rider who's going to be in control of GC going to Willunga. And then to be able to ride a defensive race on Willunga increases your chances. You know, you have teammates who can potentially go with Port. Port is not near the level he was in previous years. He's not 95%. He's not even 90%. He's lower than that. So I think people will be able to go with him. I've spoken to a few of the riders who were doing the road race, and they expressed surprise that Port wasn't able to drop them. They said it was relatively easy to follow him in the wheels. So I don't think Port's going to do it on... I don't think he'll drop them on Willunga. A big gap. I think he probably will still win Willunga stage. But for me, overall, it's Haas versus McCarthy. And I think Haas wins it.
That is a hot take.
I think the two of them will challenge for seconds on stage 2. I think both of them could finish in the top 3. I think both of them can finish in the top 3 on stage 4. And again, both of them can finish in the top 3 on Willunga. And I think those bonus seconds plus some intermediate sprints they'll pick up along the way will be too much for Port to make up on stage 5.
Unless he wins by 50 seconds on one.
So for me, it's Haas.
I like it. In the chat right now, guys, let's see a name for whoever you said is going to win the Tour Down Under. If you're watching this delayed, make sure to be in the Cycling Mole comment section down below. Make sure to click that subscribe button as well. David, you're almost at 1,000 subscribers on your own on YouTube, man. I mean, that is a tough task. The first 1,000, David, are the toughest.
Yeah, but this channel just goes into cold storage once you get your problem sorted out.
Well, we'll figure out a way. You can always do... I saw you did do, like, analysis, like, post-race analysis afterwards. That was actually some really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by that now.
Anyway, guys, I think that's all from us. Thank you so much for tuning in. We had about 70 average viewers here, so despite the technical difficulties, the Jesper and David show is back. What's the next preview, David?
It should be the Cadell Evans road race.
The 28th is the race, so I guess we'll do it the 26th, 25th-ish, guys.
Yeah, a couple of days before.
On that note, take care.
Adios, amigos.